Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Although arguing with idiots is frequently rather pointless, it's also frequently very entertaining, which is why I'm making this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, because there are a lot of idiots out there suffering from the affliction known as XRP derangement syndrome. Oh, there's no shortage of them. So there's no shortage of content for this channel, let me tell you that. We're safe over here in the Moon Lambo camp, let me tell you. And look, we've been dealing with this for the longest damn time. We've even had mainstream media come at us with straight up hit pieces, such as the one on your screen right here. Here's an oldie but a goodie. This is from March 1st, 2019. Is Ripple a scam, question mark? Which is why my voice goes up like this. Well, the answer is obviously no. It's like, do you really think that so it's going on? Because, mind you, they said Ripple. In this case, they actually meant Ripple, though they do talk about XRP. Ripple's been around since 2012. So in all that time, I mean, think about this. You're talking about later this year, the 13-year anniversary of the company. And XRP has been around actually technically longer than the company. It's just it didn't go live publicly until, I think it was the beginning of 2013. But so you're telling me that in all that time, and even through a thorough SEC investigation, like, even the SEC couldn't find any actual fraud, any actual scams. They didn't allege anything of the sort. But you know better, Forbes? You found something here? Because people still assert this today, that it's an outright scam, as you'll see. And it's hilarious. It's also a bit sad, but this is what happens when people suffer from XRP derangement syndrome. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so, point of bringing up this Forbes article, it's really not worth going through. I've got other stuff that's more fun. I just wanted to point out that we've been dealing with this in the XRP community for a very long time. And look at this. They got this little flow chart. Issue worthless XRP token, gift billions of XRP to founders, pump and dump scheme, pay partners up. I'll get to some of this stuff a little bit later in the video because these assertions are made again and again, but I will just say this. Technically, this is true. So when they say issue worthless XRP token, that's to make fun of XRP, and that's purely why it's there. Although technically that used to be true. XRP used to be worth exactly $0.00. And then that asset, which was worth $0.00, was given. They use the word gift here, so we'll use their word. It was gifted, billions of XRP gifted to certain individuals, like Chris Larson, Jed McCaleb, and a bunch of it, most of it, was given to what would become Ripple, the company. And so, yeah, it was worth $0.00. And what's hilarious to me about this is, that's something that has always been publicly known. There was no secret about the issuance of XRP, who created it, anything. This wasn't some sort of operation in the shadows. People created this, then it was available, and it's like, hey, here's the details about it. And then people with full access to these details decided to purchase XRP on exchanges and speculate, which gave XRP an open market price. Nobody could force them to do that. That's willing participants right there. How is it a scam when you create an asset, nobody can force it to be worth anything, nobody can force anybody to put money into it, and then they do, and then it becomes worth more, and then that's a scam? What in the ever-loving... You're telling me that free markets are equivalent to a scam? Then what the hell is Bitcoin? Bitcoin used to be worth $0.00. So now just when people get to freely choose what to do with their money and invest in something, that makes it a scam because other people hold the asset and that makes them rich? Oh, you mean like Satoshi Nakamoto, who holds over 1 million Bitcoin currently? Kind of like that one? Or does this not logically follow? Yeah, that's right. It doesn't logically follow, right? And so there's all sorts of stuff like this. Take a look at this one. So there is this post. This is from Brady Swinson. He's a co-founder of Swan. And the Swan folks, my God, they suffered perhaps the worst, if not the worst, among the worst examples of XRP derangement syndrome I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter how many facts you throw to these people, they're just not going to acknowledge reality. They're just going to keep saying things that aren't true. And so here's a post from the end of January. Ripple XRP is a centralized scam disguised as a digital asset. They're using scam proceeds to fool Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Scott Bessent, and David Sachs. Ripple is a 10-year-old vaporware with never-ending fake partnerships to pump price. The US is the next one. Okay, now, of course, he conflates Ripple with XRP, so it's not always easy to understand what he's talking about because at times he's talking about both of them. But whether you're talking about Ripple or XRP, it is more than 10 years old. Both were created in 2012. But hey, facts are hard. They're tough for people who suffer from XRP derangement syndrome, so I won't be too hard on him on that point. There are many other reasons to rip into this fool. So let's continue. He says XRP was pre-mined by Ripple's founders who handed themselves billions of tokens and have unloaded them on suckers ever since. Okay, so I already went through why it's stupid to yell at people for selling assets they own. That, and by the way, like when Chris Larson, for example, one of the founders of Ripple, the company, when he got his XRP, and by the way, just to be clear, he got XRP, even it was worth nothing. It was $0.00, but he got a bunch of it in case it might be worth something because there was no guarantee. This is the earliest of days in crypto. And also, back then, there really was not sufficient legal clarity. And so even though they went to great lengths in getting advice from lawyers about what might be legal, there was still a risk. There was still a risk that the government could come after them. And so part of the reason that he got so much XRP was to cover for that risk. And so there was no guarantee, though. Like, there's this thing, he's taking on this risk, and XRP might never be worth even a penny. That was a real thing. Like, that was a real possible outcome there. So he took on this risk. And it turns out he actually did get sued. He explicitly was named by the SEC in the lawsuit in 2020, which was unprecedented, by the way, because it wasn't a fraud case, but they still specifically named him just as an intimidation tactic. That's the truth, though. That's the reason, and that's not me speculating. He has publicly stated that's why he got any amount of XRP. They couldn't have known that the crypto asset class would get as big as it is. They couldn't have known that XRP would be, number 3 in market cap, and at this year they couldn't have known any of this stuff here. They're just going through and operating in good faith with full transparency, doing what they're doing, and then. They couldn't know also that over a decade later, a jackass like this would come along and spew a bunch of nonsense on the internet, misleading people. But as far as unloading onto suckers, this is the most dumbass argument. So, with each year that passes, less Bitcoin gets mined each year. Almost all of it's already been mined, but there were some years where some large quantities of Bitcoin was getting mined, right? And so you can call that inflation. It's an increase in the circulating supply of Bitcoin. And if you're going to say that Ripple selling XRP they hold is unloading onto suckers, then it must follow logically that Bitcoin miners who are mining Bitcoin and then selling it, they are unloading it onto suckers. Right? Doesn't that logically follow? The answer is yes. It's a dumbass argument, which is why I'm ripping this to shreds. It's stupid. And I hope this helps give you guys some ammo out there to argue against these stupid, toxic Bitcoin maximalists anywhere you come across them. Really grinds my gears, folks. Getting all ground up. Is ground up a word? Ground? It is now. It's a word on the Moon Lambo channel, damn it. Anyway, Brady Swinson, he continues now. Ripple controls the XRP ledger, meaning they can freeze your funds anytime. This isn't decentralized. It's a worthless PayPal. Okay, that's a blatant lie. I do believe that he knows better. He's been told too many times by too many people in too many different threads over a span of too many years this is not true to not know this. Because I don't think he's stupid. I think he's dishonest. I really believe, and you can't always tell from person to person. For someone like him, who has been going on like this for years and years, like this is a toxic Bitcoin maximalist, like through and through. That's who this is. XRP derangement syndrome to the max. He's lying. So some people are in an echo chamber and they've just been fed a bunch of lies and they'll spew it and they'll think it's true. This is different. He's spewing the lies and he does know better. He does know. Now he truthfully does hate XRP irrationally, but he's also spewing nonsense about it. Freezing funds. Well, you can go to any number of sources, but let's go to this one. How about xrpl.org? Common misunderstandings about freezes. It is a common misconception that Ripple or others can freeze XRP. Similar to how centralized services like PayPal can suspend your account and prevent you from accessing your funds. In reality, while the XRP ledger does have a freeze feature, it can only be used on issued tokens, not on XRP. No one can freeze XRP. Tokens in the XRP ledger are fundamentally different than XRP. Tokens always exist in trust lines, which can be frozen. XRP exists in accounts, which cannot be frozen. And look, all you have to do is use your fat little fingers to type up your query on the Webernets, and then you get the answer, because it turns out you effectively have the sum of all human knowledge at your fat little fingertips using the type, and then you can find this out too. I used my properly masculine fingertips to type this in, and I learned it. But you can use your fat little fingertips, you little toxic Bitcoin maximalist, and you can learn these things. You absolutely could learn these things. And it's so funny that he specifically cited PayPal, and the XRP website's like, no, that's absolutely not. They even mentioned PayPal there. Because this is just, it's the same crap year after year after year from these fools. Then he says, banks don't use XRP. Ripple's endless partnerships are smoke and mirrors designed to pump the price, not drive adoption. And you know what's funny is that, and it's already been proven through and through, that whatever Ripple does, it doesn't impact the price of XRP. You know what does impact the price of XRP? The SEC doing stuff that they have had way more influence over anything that Ripple ever possibly could. And it's so funny here because people like him, they'll say, banks don't use XRP, but then they'll call XRP the banker's coin, and it's hilarious. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not clear, because I guess now that the legacy financial system, including banks, they're embracing Bitcoin and the entire crypto space, so now it's a good thing? Get your narrative straight, son. This doesn't make any sense. But either way, Ripple does have very real partnerships in the world of banking. And as far as XRP being used as a bridge currency, it most certainly is. As far as who those customers are, some have been revealed by Ripple and some haven't. But what the hell does that matter? There's real adoption, whether it's a bank or just a remittance firm. Who cares? The point is, they're actually being used. You can talk to some of these businesses. You can call them up because many of them are publicly known. What do you mean? Is that smoke and mirrors? What about all the actual customers that have actually spoken publicly about the benefits of using XRP as a bridge currency? You're just lying. These are blatant lies from Brady Svensson. Let's continue. Ripple Labs dumps billions of XRP into the market to fund their operations. You're the liquidity exit for their lavish lifestyles. Don't let smarmy Garlinghouse fool you. Okay, so I already talked about how it's just a dumbass argument because there's obviously, Bitcoin miners dumping on the market, if you want to call it that. But as far as the rate of increase in circulating supply, year after year, it's only about 6%. And again, this is not done in the shadows. You can see Ripple's very public about what they're selling. It's not a secret. And so if you don't like the ecosystem, don't participate. If you don't like the tokenomics, don't participate. But it's all done in the open and in good faith. But the inflation, it's not severe, but 6% a year roughly. I mean, there have been years where the increase in circulating supply in Bitcoin has been higher than the percentage increase in the XRP ecosystem. So why aren't we ripping on the Bitcoin miners then? Because they're getting enriched by doing that. Obviously, there's some very big mining outfits out there making crazy money. But Ripple in selling that specifically, an asset they hold, taking the risk to start a company, and then there ends up being an ecosystem around it, and all done in good faith and in broad daylight, that's a problem? No, get the hell out of here with that nonsense. That's a dumbass argument. It's the stupidest argument. Then he says Bitcoin fixes accessible store of value. XRP fixes nothing except the bank accounts of Ripple execs dumping on gullible investors. No, you're a liar. I own XRP, but I'm certainly not gullible. I am well informed, which is why I'm able to rip your stupid ass thread to shreds. I didn't have to do any research on this. I know the answers because people like you have been lying to large followings for years on end, just literally over a decade at this point. You and people like you. It's completely absurd. And I want to point out here, the idiots that say XRP is used for nothing, or it's the same people who say Bitcoin is useful, which is what this guy believes. Yet there is nothing that Bitcoin can do that XRP cannot do. In terms of utility, there's nothing it can do that XRP cannot. On the flip side, there are many things XRP can do that Bitcoin cannot. So if you really want to go down that path of arguing which coin can do more stuff and has more utility, think twice, because you're going to lose that one, son. You're going to lose it every day. Because what can Bitcoin do? Well, given that it's the pet rock of crypto, it can store value, and that's it. But you know what? Every other coin that's doing stuff, it gets the benefit of store value, including XRP. You idiot stick. This is not hard stuff to understand. I mean, it shouldn't be. See, again, I think he knows it. I don't think he believes what he's saying here. Maybe he believes some of it, but some are such blatant lies that I know that he doesn't believe it. It's because it's impossible. It's too far past anything that I should even humor at this point, frankly. And then he says XRP is sold on dreams of a banking revolution, but in reality, it's just a slow, centralized... That one cracks me up. I can't say that with a straight face. It's just a slow, centralized token with no real use case and hasn't done anything in a decade. This is hilarious to me. So, when I jumped into crypto in 2017, there was one point where I paid over $50 for a Bitcoin transaction. It was a time of high congestion, and it took over 24 hours for that to go through. That was one of my earliest examples. And then I used XRP. It settled in real time in like 3 seconds roughly. And it costs a fraction of a penny. So for him to say it's slow, but then keep preaching about Bitcoin, oh my God, this is not a genuine person. This is a disingenuous human. This is not somebody who's intellectually honest. Of course not. It's just slow. Out of all the things, I will tell you, honestly, I got to tell you this. I've seen every critique under the sun of XRP. I rarely get surprised. As far as I can recall, this is the first critique I've ever gotten from a Bitcoin maximalist that XRP is slow. In my entire 7+ years in crypto, I don't recall ever seeing anyone say that, because that is one of the most absurd, easily provably wrong things that you could possibly say about it. That's ridiculous. Centralized token, well, there's no central point of failure. That's very obviously true. More on that in a second, actually. I've got a little graphic I'll pull up for you. But Ripple has one validator. They have no special permissions over the XRP ledger. And that's that. Literally, there is no central point. Show me the evidence they're controlling. Bring the evidence if it's not true. Because it's certainly not coded in the way that would make it possible for Ripple to have control. So bring that evidence. It's just this false assertion. You're just saying things. And then no use case. And again, if XRP is no real use case, what the hell is Bitcoin doing, man? Come on. It just doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Then he says, if you want a serious global asset with actual utility embraced by hundreds of millions that will persist far into the future on a decentralized ledger with integrity, don't waste your time on scams like Ripple. So there he's conflating Ripple with XRP again. He says, Bitcoin is the only asset worthy of a U.S. reserve by far. See, they feel so threatened, and I think that's the reason that this is all happening in the first place here. So as far as centralization, I don't think I want to spend time going through this one, but there is somebody who stated that XRP is a centralized blockchain, said it's blockchain technology that goes completely against the thesis of cryptocurrency, but it's going to rip higher because that's where the buzz is. And so I shared this screen grab of nodes on the XRP ledger. It's a global map right there. And I said, where is the central point of failure for the XRP ledger? Please point to it on the map. And then he shared this long response from Grok a few minutes later. So I was like, okay, well, that's clearly from Grok. And I called him out this is not somebody who's going to have a serious conversation. But it's a trick question. There is no central point of failure. So when Brady Swinson says it's centralized, point to it on a map. Which one of these nodes is the central point of failure? Can you do it? No, you cannot. It is a trick question, but you're an idiot for stating that it is centralized. And in fact, Ripple has proposed amendments to the XRP ledger that have failed because they don't have the control that, not that they would want the control, but they don't have the control that would be necessary to impose their will on the rest of the ecosystem. And if they did, frankly, these participants in the ecosystem, I don't think they'd be here. Look, the people that are running validators, they love the decentralized nature of the XRP ledger. If that weren't a thing, they'd be gone. And then Ripple would just be king, I guess. But that's not the world that we're living in. So we just have dishonest people like that. And then there's this guy. Oh, this is hilarious. You got to look at this screen. This is so funny to me. It's Da Vinci Jeremy. He's one of the more well-known sufferers of XRP derangement syndrome. And here you can see that they used AI to modify his face to make it look like he's crying, and it's hilarious when he points at the camera. You see the tears falling down. There we go. I love that so much. And this is created by the Bitcoin Maxi Tiers account. They created a meme coin. I don't know anything about it. I don't own it. I just think the video they made is funny, just to be clear. So you guys, if you want to buy meme coins, do it. I'm not buying any meme coins, not even on the XRP ledger. It's just not my jam. Not going to do it. Nothing against anybody that wants to. That's fine. But this video is so funny, I had to highlight this. And in the video clip, though, this is from May of last year, and he's like, should you own XRP? No, you shouldn't. He said, it's just going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down. And here's why. He said, it's because it's trending that way, so it's going to keep doing that. And then, of course, XRP started running, and then you flash forward to December of 2024 after XRP had hit a local high of $2.90. And then he started posting that he believes that XRP was going to hit a new all-time high, and he actually believes this cycle it's going to hit $20 to $24 after he was disastrously wrong and was ripping on it. But he does have XRP derangement syndrome. He's not a good analyst. He does not know what he's talking about. He just has a large following of I think he has like 700,000 or 800,000 followers on X, and he's got a pretty big YouTube channel. I don't remember how many subscribers. But these people, they're just insufferable. They're completely insufferable. That's why I'm very thankful I have this channel so that I can just rip the nonsense they say to shreds. And I hope that you find this entertaining and helpful, because you're going to keep encountering this nonsense and the stuff that they say. Like, I mean, when pressed, they run away, or they're just proven wrong. And so understand, I have debated people on on X, and it's never with the expectation that I'm going to change their perspective. That's not the goal. If that happens, great, but that's happened almost 0% of the time I've ever tried it. It's for the benefit of everyone else. And so it does make sense to push back against these people when they're sharing lies or bad ideas, whatever the case may be, because it's for the benefit of everyone else that reads it. That's why I do it. And also, plus, I mean, we all know that the primary reason the internet was created was to scream at people on it. So, that I'm fulfilling. This is the fulfillment of that dream. It's just, you got a guy like me, I'm just going to bitch about people on the internet. So obviously it's fully come to fruition. It's a good time. Good times for all here. But again, like I said at the outset of the video, I'm certainly not going to run out of material to make videos. I will tell you that. It's impossible. As long as they're going to be saying stupid, dumbass stuff, I'm going to keep trashing it. And XRP is just going to keep going higher, and then they're going to bitch and moan even more, and I'll just keep highlighting it because it's a good time. And I have no sympathy. I simply do not. And now we can safely consider Da Vinci Jeremy's stupid video here, and this guy who, the PC trades, and his stupid comment about XRP being centralized, and this Brady Swinson thread, we can consider this all to be thrown into the Moon Lambo wood chipper. Ideally, though not guaranteed, but ideally, never to be spoken of again. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.